So let's start uploading the sketches. I went ahead and made 10 sketches, and you can see my sketches are really simple, if not a little bit sloppy, and I've been drawing all my life, so these thumbnail sketches do not have to be anything spectacular. And in fact, they should not be anything spectacular, but they should indicate where it is you intend to go. Now this is a PDF. I'd like you to upload a screenshot, which will make it a JPEG or PNG file. So I'm going to take a screenshot from Adobe Acrobat, and then I'm going to upload this. We're going to go to the video tutorials. All the videos will be here once I get them uploaded. I'm going to click to launch the magazine spread sketches. And you'll see the screen like you've seen many times we've done before with the blogs. I'm going to create a blog entry, and I'm just going to run through this real quick. I'm going to use my EID. And I'm going to grab this screenshot, which is a PNG file, and we've done this many times. I'm going to call this one and call this one. And the appearance, this is huge. This first number, turn this into 600 and then give it a border of 1. So I want it to be 600 by 500 or 560. Well, in my case, mine's 567, but 1 year dimension needs to be 600. And then hit insert. And then this is what I'll see, and then I need to indicate which ones I want to go forward with. So I like number 1, number 2, and number 5. And I just want to see where it is that you're going. So let's see, 1, 2, and 5. Post entry, and this is what I should see. So now why don't we get into InDesign? Next, let's go back to coursework. I want to go to magazine layout and impact of photography. We're going to download the text for the layout, and then we're going to also download the InDesign file. Here's my impact folder. Looks like I downloaded 2 of these by accident. I only need 1. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to toss it into my thumb drive before I do anything else. That one's right here, and I've got a lot of stuff in here, so I'm going to give this one a little dot so I know which one I'm working with. And then I also want to grab my impact of photography, my text. I want to put that into the thumb drive also. And I'm going to throw it right into that same impact layout folder. Now in this impact layout folder, you're going to see a few things. I just put in the text, the Word file, so that one I added. You're going to have instructions, TXT. That is just if we're sending this off somewhere, this gives information that we're going to give to a client or to a print shop. So don't worry about that. This PDF shows up from packaging this file, and I'll show you about that later. And then we have these two files, which are very important. I'm going to skip down to the last one here, which is Impact INDD, which is InDesign. That's the one we're going to be working with. Now, say if you're working at home and you're running a higher level InDesign than we run at school. Then at school, what you would do, you would open up this IDML file, which is InDesign markup language. This will open up off of any version of InDesign. But we're going to work with the INDD file, which is a regular InDesign file. You should not need to worry about this one at all, since you'll be working at home and not having to go back and forth from campus. So let's open it up. And once it's open here, we see that we have 2 pages together for a 2-page spread. And what's going to end up happening is that those 3 layouts that you're going to indicate that you like, you're going to end up making 3 different spreads. So you're going to need to copy this here 3 different times. I'd want you to have 3 separate InDesign files. So one way to do that is go up to Edit Copy, and then Edit Paste. And then I'll give you a copy, or you can hold down your Option key, click and drag. And I'm just going to name this one 1. So here's going to be 2. And this one here is going to be 3. But let's start with 1. Close this one, don't save. All right, here's our 1. What we're going to do first is get our text and images into here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my, you can see here that the tools look similar as they do in Illustrator. So I'm going to click on my type tool, and when we're adding text in InDesign, we're going to draw a text box. Because you can't just click with the type tool and have it start a line of text. You have to draw a text box when we're using InDesign. I'm going to open up this here. I'm going to select all the text, do an Edit Copy, go back to InDesign, Edit Paste. And it's going to throw all my text right in here, and I'm going to get rid of this right here. This is in red before. We don't need it because that's going to be our title, and then right here our subtitle. Now our text box has a few features to it. You'll see this red plus sign here. That means there's more text that we can't see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this text box longer. And we can see that this red plus sign is gone. And so all of our text is right here where we can see it. I'm going to scoot this off to the side, and we need an underlying grid first. So before I do anything else, I'm going to make a grid. I'm going to go over to my layers, pages. And these are the pages we're working on. And we have up here the A master pages. And what this is whatever we do to the master pages will happen to the other pages in our layout. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to Layout, Margins and Columns, and click on that. And what we want to do, we want to add in some margins and some columns. So a margin we want to do about a half of an inch. And I'm going to constrain all these so that it makes them all at the same time. The number of columns, we want 3, and that gives us a grid to work within. It's for a 3-column grid to work in. And since we've done that on the master pages, if I double click here, you'll see it's done this on our regular pages also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this text, I'm going to move it back over and move it within my columns. And I'm going to shrink this down so all my text here now fits inside of one column. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit too. And you notice we have some extra text. This little red plus box here says there's more text that we can't see. So I'm going to click on that and we get the cursor. It shows up, it says there's more stuff here, I want to put it in. So I'm going to draw a text box in this column here. And InDesign will let you know with those green arrows that it's the same size as the previous text box. And we have some more still that we can't see, so I'm going to click on it, and we're going to do the same thing. And all we're doing is we're setting up our columns. And that's all of our text across 3 columns, and all these are linked. So if I select all 3 of these things, and if I shrink them, I'm going to click and I'm going to drag really slow, and you can see as I'm shrinking this, the text is wrapping itself. So shrinking it down, and the text is wrapping, which is what it's supposed to do. And even if I took this middle one and made it super tall, it takes from this last text box here. So all these 3 things here are linked. Now what I want to do is I want to take my title, my opening paragraph, my subtitle out of here, because I'm going to do some different things with those. So I'm going to double click, I'm going to highlight this, I'm going to copy it, so edit copy, and then delete. And then I'm going to come over here and do an edit paste. Here is my title. And I'll do the same thing here for my opening paragraph. Select it, edit copy. And then an edit paste. And there is my opening paragraph. I'm going to take my subtitle, copy it. And you notice I'm coming up here every time and selecting the selection tool. That's so I'm not just pasting directly back into what I just copied and deleted from. So it draws a new text box for me outside of what I've copied from. And you can see the text that we've taken has made this, our body copy here it's made it less. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to shrink those down. And now we have just our body copy, and here is our subtitle. And then here's our opening paragraph. You'll notice the opening paragraph, I have it spanning two different columns, which is fine for the opening paragraph because that's what we use to get our reader's attention. So if I were to go back here, and look at our layout ideas, let's do, here's our opening paragraph. You can tell it's a little bit bigger than our body copy. And then here's our title down here. The title doesn't always have to be on top. It just has to be the biggest thing on the page that we see first. And then same thing here. See our opening paragraph is bigger in a different color, and then our body copy is smaller in black. And our title's up at the top. So that's why we separated all these things so we can do things with them. And then here's the subtitle right here. Now we've done a few things here we need to save. So let's do a file save. And I'm going to save it save in this impact folder layout. Now we're going to replace that one. Alright. I'll stop this video here and we'll start prepping our photos.